Hey, Cheryl, and how are you today?
I've been listening to your other session. I've been doing that all day. So,
So, I sent you an email back.
yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I've got Ricky working on stuff, and I've been going through your session there. Great points. So can I ask you a question while we're waiting for everybody?
Sure.
Um, so when you talk about, because I'm going to do this postcard mailing, when you talk about this QR code, that's what I
Mhm.
get it back at you, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I get that back at you after I establish all the things like here's what's on the market, here's what's sold, the average sale price, so I can get that on back at you. Is that what I do?
So there is a training that shows how to create that in there.
I saw it, yes.
But I can walk you through it again if you need to
Okay.
when on a separate session.
Okay. So would it be better for me to make a session with you like a half an hour before these sessions? What's better for you on time?
Usually Fridays are the best,
Oh,
with
Fridays are
the
the best for
exception of
you?
when we're doing when we're doing Call Mania or whatever.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
But other than that, Fridays are usually the best if that
Okay.
works for you. Okay. You just let me know and I will
Yeah.
make out the time for you. Okay.
You don't have any time tomorrow, do you?
I
I'm on floor all day tomorrow afternoon, so I'll be here.
Tomorrow's Thursday. Um, I have some time at noon.
At noon on Friday?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah, no. Uh, anything on Friday or no?
Oh yeah, yeah. Um, I can do 9:30 or 11 or anytime after 2.
So can we do 2:30 Friday?
Sure.
Okay, and then how much time are you blocking for me?
Um, we'll probably get through it in about 30, 45 minutes.
Okay, got it. Okay, put me down for 2:30 Friday. Thank you.
Okay. I'll send you a Zoom link, right? But I've got it in here on my
Okay,
schedule.
great.
Yeah, it won't take that long. It's not that difficult, but I'll walk you through it. Okay?
Oh, right, Frank. It's going to take that long with me.
Okay.
If I
Okay.
bring Ricky, it'll take even longer.
All right. So we'll get started with this session. In the scale sessions, what the whole idea is to be able to take what you have, and once you've established your presence, you want to build out, right? And what I want to talk to you today about is Instagram. And the reason I want to bring up Instagram is that it's where the money is, right? So Instagram has uh, the most people on there that have resources, right? It has the highest net worth individuals are visible on Instagram, and or they're at least on Instagram following and watching content. And if they're interested in what you have a great opportunity to do that. And we've had seen experience with that specifically in recently with the $22 million sale, where most of those leads came through Instagram. So I always tell everybody each platform has its own purpose, right? Facebook is a great platform for being able to reach out to local people, right? So I'm trying to reach the people that actually live here, that I'm, the sellers that live here. And Facebook is the best way to do that because you can localize content and target specifically who you want to reach. So I want to get familiar within the neighborhood, I want to use Facebook. If I want to build out a platform where I can showcase my properties or um, my background, I want to use YouTube. Why do I want to use YouTube? Because YouTube is forever. Unlike other platforms, YouTube is a search engine. It's not social media. So the content that you put in there will last forever. For example, if you go, most people go into YouTube, they do a search and they'll search for something specific. And when that search comes up, it'll bring up all the content, whether it was 10 years ago or 5 minutes ago, it'll bring up the content for that search parameter. When we look at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or anything else, you're looking, or X, you're looking at stuff that people don't search for. Well, maybe X might be a little bit different, but people don't search for content, right? They get onto Instagram and they're scrolling and they're looking at the content that comes up in their home feed. TikTok, same thing. It's on your For You page. Um, there is one other exception, which is Pinterest, which a lot of people don't realize is actually a very excellent platform. And now Pinterest has integrated video as well into their platform. And that's something that we'll talk about in another session. But Instagram is where the money is, right? So Instagram is all about the look as well as the content. And on Instagram, you have, like I said, you have a lot of net worth individuals. And how would I use Instagram if I wanted to develop it as a lead machine, right? Um, Most agents don't have a what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have a content problem on Instagram. What they have is a clarity problem. That's the issue. So what I want to do is help you identify what's hurting your Instagram profile, help you rewrite a bio so it speaks to the right client, help fix any links that you may have, highlights or pinned posts, create better content that feels simpler and converts better. And then we're going to talk about using AI to build a bio and a 30-day content plan. So posting is not the same as position. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong. It's not about the views, right? If you're shooting for likes and views, you're going to miss the target. What I want is quality views. I want quality engagement. I want to reach the people who I want to do business with. It's not about becoming an influencer. It's not about becoming, a superstar. It's about attracting the right buyer or the right seller for my platform. Um, so a profile has to be clear on who you are, what you do, and where you do it. Um, so a good way to put it is who do you help, where you work, what kind of real estate you specialize in. Now, if you go in there and say, "Oh, I specialize in waterfront and condos and apartment buildings and commercial and single family homes and first time home buyers and move up buyers and move down buyers and all of that," I don't. That's not specialization, right? Specialization is one specific topic. So, for example, if you work within a certain neighborhood, I'll use an example here, and that neighborhood has both waterfront homes and landlocked homes, which do you specialize in? Do you specialize in selling the landlocked homes or do you specialize in selling the waterfront homes? That's a special. The more you can narrow it down, the better the result you will have on your content. And then, of course, it has to have how to contact you, right? How do I reach that person? And then why should you trust them? So let me share my screen right here. Quick. Just a second. So we want to turn Instagram into a lead machine. So the first thing we have to learn is we have to stop looking active and start attracting. So posting, like I said, is not the same as positioning. And what we need is clarity so that when somebody comes to our page, we're providing them with the exact information that we're trying to attract. I want to pinpoint and target the person that is best suited for this property, or I want to target the seller that of the type of properties I want to list. So You can make a lot of good tongue content. You can make a lot of funny content. You can make it really fancy and stuff like that. But does that attract qualified leads? Right. And that's really what this is all about. So the first thing you have to understand is that most agents need to check several things. And let me pull up a couple of examples here. So you may be familiar with this agent. She's fairly local, but she has an excellent profile here. So she, buy well, sell well, live well. Mid Florida Keys real estate, realtor, work with me, shows her office address, and then she has links to her websites and things of that nature. She puts out content that's obviously formatted for the platform. This is very important because I'm going to show you some examples of what not to do. Um, and so there's good information. What I'm looking at is, does it pull me in? Is there any image or anything here that would stop the scroll of someone who might be interested in purchasing or selling a home in this area? Now, there's a couple of things here, some iconic locations like 7 Mile Bridge, and where you might get somebody stop and look, right? Maybe some really nice pictures of the ocean, or fishing or something like that. There may be one extraordinary house on here that might stop somebody for a second, but does it really reach out and grab the viewer? I'm going to go with no on this one. But I do think she has a good profile. It's set up good. It tells where she works, what she does, and then links where she is, the links to her platform. And then she has it broken down into different categories, as you can see, by Key Colony Beach, Keys Life, listings, testimonials, community, convention, so on and so forth. So this overall is a pretty good shot. And you can see she's got 366 followers with about 280 posts that she's put up during this period of time. Now let's look at this is another one, and you can see that she doesn't have anything, right? She's got her name, she's got a link to her website, but that's it, right? Not a lot of content here. Also, notice that it's not formatted properly, right? There's words that are cut off. The imaging is inconsistent. As opposed to here, you can see that everything kind of has this blue tint to it, right? It's very uniform, very consistent in look. So I give her, props on that part. When we look at this one, it's all different. It's very contrast, a lot of contrast, and nothing here that really pulls you in. And you could see that she's hurting for that, right? She has 139 followers. Most of them are probably people within her real estate office, or friends and family, right? Now let's look at Tracy Laveau, right? And she's got another one, 1,000 followers, but interested in buying, selling, contact me, very generic. But she does have her phone number up there. She has her email address up there. She has properties for sale and YouTube videos, and then links to the information. And again, you can see she's got it broken down into different categories. Now hers has a little more of a green uh, uh, color contrast. There's some blue in there. That's kind of good, but she's pretty steady on putting up her information. You can see that it is pretty much, for the most part, it is formatted for the platform. So the information is easy to see in most parts. Some of it's cut off, but she's fairly consistent. But she does have over 1,000 followers, so good job on that, right? Next, we're going to look at this is Las Vegas Home Sales, Stacy Home Sales. Now she has 1,200 followers, and you'll notice that she doesn't really have a whole lot here as far as uh, her information, but she does have her address. But you notice here she has 25 years in the entertainment industry, so she probably has some good following as well. But overall, you can see this is not formatted correctly. The color scheme is really off, very contrasted, very off-putting. Some of them are just images, and then you see stuff with a bunch of words on it. Um, is it really stopping the scroll? And if you go in and look at some of these, I'm sorry, let me go to the post. Okay, we can look at these and you can see very low viewing of these uh, videos. She's got some personal content mixed in with the work content, but has not been consistent, right? She mostly has a lot of followers, probably from her time in she's been in real estate since 2009, but she's really not understanding how to use this platform in the best way. So she's using, her standard way of doing things and probably just does this, because somebody told her she had to. So, this is about a C minus, I'd give this. If we look at Erica um, uh, Lamar, another Las Vegas realtor, she's got 22,000 followers, almost 23,000 followers, but she specializes in relocation and new home, right? So relocation, new home. She's established authority because she could say she's helped 170 families and people served. And then contact me with my website. Here's her website. She's got links in here. Again, she's got everything categorized and she's very consistent with her posting. Again, you can see it's kind of like a blue tint for the most part. Um, Most of it is in good shape, meaning that it's formatted for the area. She obviously works with buyers a lot. She works with a lot of buyers because almost all of her content is focused towards buyers and not towards sellers. But 22,000 followers, she's probably doing some deals from this content. This is Danielle sells. I'm sorry, Danielle sells New York City, which is Danielle Nazinski. She's been around a while. She's got 5,500 followers, and you can see that she's got herself here listed as a top 1% agent, and she's based in Dumbo in Brooklyn, which is a specific area of Brooklyn. She does have links here. She does pretty good. Her content is fairly consistent. Again, she's got everything categorized. It's definitely formatted, and you can see she's got this nice brown earth tone thing going on. So everything looks pretty uniform. Also, you'll notice a lot of her content, she's right up front. She's right in the photo, right? She's in that, and you can see her face. So this is appealing to a lot of people. People want to connect with people, right? They don't want to see just dirt and concrete. They want to see other people. Here, she's probably got some, previous clients and what she's, things that she sold. She talks about the community itself. What's it like in NoHo? And here's the. It's not a hey, this house is for sale. Here, it's the story of 39 Pearl Street. And look, over 1,000 views just on that one thing. So this is a good example when you're established of having a good presence on Instagram. And then lastly, this is Margot Smith out of Las Vegas. Again, mid-luxury Margot. She's giving herself not just a specific uh, title for a specialization, but she's given even a specific price range within that she works. And she matched and negotiated all price points, buy, sell, relocation, new construction, which is not really specialty. But she's got her phone number on there. She's got addresses and information linked to her page. She's got all of her stuff in order on her buttons. And again, you can see it's a fairly consistent kind of look and feel to the entire page. But again, she's right up in front. Her face is in most of the thumbnails that you see. So again, that's appealing to people who want to know more or get to know. She's got 1,432 followers. I'm going to guess that she gets some good leads out of this. So here's this was a test that I did, that I created a profile and I put no content on here, right? There's no content at all. I wanted to see, can I catch followers just by optimizing my bio. So I created this bio, and you can see it says private client advisor, $1 million plus homes, Lower Keys waterfront, phone number, over 1,500 happy clients. Click the link to live the life. And there's the link tree there that brings you to the other parts, right? See waterfront living, all this kind of good stuff, right? And I amassed 324 followers just by having an optimized profile with absolutely zero content. Zero content. Okay. So let's look a little bit more at what that entails. So, one, profile photo. So you want to use the same professional headshot across all the platforms. So whether you're on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or Pinterest or X or TikTok, always use the same photo. You want to build familiarity with that uh, uh, with your face. You want people to get to know your face. So as soon as they see your headshot on there, make sure that it's visible, that people can actually see your face. So if you look here, you can see right? Make sure they can see your face in there. Again, they can see your face, right? All good. This, not so good. Don't do that, right? That's not a good one. There, see your face, see your face, see your face, right? Always use something that shows your face and that reflects what you're trying to emote in the profile. So use the same photo and same type of profile across your platforms. Next, you want to have a category that matches. Make sure that you're using real estate. Don't use vague labels, right? And make sure that people know that you're a real estate agent. Include the market that you serve specifically and the niche within that market that you serve. So if you're working in Marathon, and Marathon is a wide market, would be considered a wide market. But where in Marathon am I working? You know, if I say Key Colony Beach, okay, now I've narrowed it down. Now, if I say waterfront single family homes in Key Colony Beach and Marathon, I've narrowed it down even more, right? Or if I say specifically investment homes for, for vacation rental in Key Colony Beach, in Marathon, in the Florida Keys, that's even better. The more narrow your niche, the better the response you will get from people who actually are interested in that information, right? That want to work with that person who, and this is both for buyers and sellers. So, especially with sellers, because if I'm too broad, then how, what do you know about my neighborhood, right? What do you know about what goes on here in Pine Channel State specifically, let's say? So uh, make sure that you have your market served, your niche, who you help, and one strong credibility point. So a strong credibility point might be over 1,500 happy clients, right? Might be master negotiator at all price points, might be navigate your next move together, might be 170 plus families served, right? Those are specific uh, credibility points that you can use to help build authority and then make the contact information easy to find. Make sure you have the phone number on there or your a link to your website. Don't make if people have to play detective to find your email or your phone number, you've already lost, right? You've already lost. So when you have no contact information on there and there's nothing in there about you, you're not going to get anything. Now she does have a website on there, but how many people are going to go to the profile to if they're looking at this and your information's not in there, what good is it? It's not, who are you trying to reach? And how are they going to reach you? Okay, so next, it makes it very easy. Here's the 60-second bio formula. Helping who you help, buy or sell in the area that you work, in this niche, waterfront homes, let's say, and I've sold over 35 homes or helped over 30 families sell their homes in there. DM me move, right? So helping waterfront homeowners in the Florida Keys sell smarter. Something very similar to that, but be more narrow into the specific area that you work within. Okay. So the next thing I want you to notice too is that you have to give somebody information and a direction on what to do next. So here it says, DM me move, right? Or possibly you say, click the link to live the life, right? Or maybe you say, reach, where was the one that she did? Or you can see that she has decode real estate in there. Want to contact me? Here's the form in my private site. It has an arrow. Here's the information. And she's got her link there, right? So give them some instruction on what to do. If you don't tell people what to do, they won't do anything, but only tell them to do one thing. Don't tell them to do three things. If you tell people to do three things, they won't do anything, right? If you don't tell people what to do, they won't do anything. But if you give them one simple task to do, then you'll get them to follow along and follow through with what you want them to do. Okay. So, what are some things that um, we should put in our links? If you're using like Linktree or Beacons AI or something along those lines, you can put in multiple links in there. But if you're only going to put in one, make sure that you have some links that are going to help the person, like book a home seller strategy call, download a neighborhood market report, get a free home value review, message me about waterfront homes, or get the latest list on homes available in the neighborhood, right? Things of that nature are going to help you or help them find the information faster and make it easier for them to be able to reach out to you when they're ready to do something. So don't make it a guessing game. Don't be generic. Be different. Be unique. Be unique in your stuff. Okay. So what should we I'm gonna run through this real quick. So again, personal intro is who you are, little quick personal story in the bio, and exactly why to choose you in this specific market, which is saying again where you work, what you do, who you serve, right, and how to reach it. Make sure that you have something in here. This is the information that you would be posting. So here's some things that you should be posting onto your highlight page, which is these pages right here, doing your reels, right? So some things you might want to think about are client success stories, major wins, something unusual or impressive that was really difficult to overcome. Testimonials are very important. What local life is in the area, because that establishes authority that you know what's going on in the neighborhood. Buying tips, selling tips, and then market value reports. Why a specific property is the best property in that neighborhood to buy, or why this is the best property you should buy, right? If it's for one of your listings. Recent market updates. I would do one every month, at least once a month, a 30-day market update. And we've done trainings on that before on how to create a market update that take you less than 5 minutes to do. Um, Seller tips. What are some things that you could put in? Things like insurance information or things that you can do to help increase the value of the property without putting in a lot of money. What are some of the best improvements that you can do to increase your curb appeal? So if you go and look at some of the stuff that people put up, the things that they put up in most cases, when you look at it, has nothing to do, it doesn't give anybody anything specific, right? It doesn't give them any information that is useful. Like if you're going to do a neighborhood thing, you might cover one event or one restaurant or one local attraction or one unique little store that you like, especially small mom and pop shops, right? Only focus on the one thing. Don't try and show 10,000 things in a single reel. You've got less than, 3 minutes. You've got 3 seconds to attract their attention. Once you've attracted their attention for that 3 seconds, you have less than a second in order to keep them on there. And then once you've got them that far, then generally you're going to be able to hold their attention. If you If you lose them within that first 60 seconds, that's it. You've lost the opportunity to give them a message. So if I want to reach somebody and I want to capture them in, I have to give them something of curiosity, something for a reason to stay, and then using one thing in the content, one subject in the content to maintain their viewing of that video. And then at the end, I've got to let them know what to do, right? You DM me, click the link, use the QR code, whatever that instance is going to be. So, um, there are different types of posts that you can do. You can do reels, carousels, stories, static posts, things of that nature, which are all available on most platforms. So think about using different types of content. It doesn't always have to be video. Sometimes you can do a carousel where pictures go by, right? And people slide on the pictures and look at the pictures while doing a voiceover as well, or providing good information or good value on the actual photos. So let's say, for example, you're talking to your, people who own a home near the water, and we want to talk about uh, uh, salt damage. Things to look for, salt damage that you might want to repair before putting your house on the market. So I might show, three, four, five pictures of typical types of damage that people, for the most part, goes unnoticed. But these are things you should look for before putting your house on the market so you can address them and that they don't become a problem later. Because if they become a problem later, that's going to cost you money because people are going to want either repair reduction or they're going to offer a lower price. But if you address them now, you're helping hold the value of the property and getting the price that you want. So, and you can do that in a carousel. Um, so next, we're going to look at is using useful over pretty content, right? So we talked about you doing the local lifestyle, neighborhood facts, breaking market myths, okay? Especially when you're in a neighborhood where prices are doing well and maybe the surrounding area not so much, or they're at least holding value or they're selling faster than in other places. Here's an interesting post that most people don't do. What are the top 5 neighborhoods that you should buy a home in a specific area, let's say in Isla Morada, right? Why would you make a list of the top 5 homes that you should purchase, or top 5 neighborhoods you should purchase in Isla Morada? Because if there's good turnover in a community, if the turnover happens consistently, and you've had a good 5 or 10 year run with the homes that are fairly, same number of homes turn over every year, then they're going to hold their value better than homes that move slower, right? So if you have in one neighborhood and the turnover is 7%, and another neighborhood and the turnover is 3%, in that given neighborhood. The 7% neighborhood, those home values will hold up better over time. If it's a 3% turnover, those home values will fluctuate and they may lose value, they may gain value, but it's not consistent. So as a purchaser, I want to know where are the best neighborhoods to buy so that if I want to sell my house in 5 or 10 years from now, that I'm buying in a neighborhood that has the highest potential in order to resell the home later on, that I'm going to make the most equity in resale later on. So, for example, it's like in Big Pine comparing the avenues to Pine Channel, right? One area is going to have a much better turnover and hold value, and the other will not. So educate sellers on what they need to know, what a good pricing strategy would be, negotiation tips, waterfront issues, seawalls, davits. What do buyers look for when they're looking at homes in that community, and all of these things should be referencing the community that you're serving. So it's not just a generic video or a post about insurance. It's a specific post about insurance in Duck Key. What do insurance rates go? What do insurance adjusters look for? What can you do to lower your premium in its given neighborhood or in that community? So you might even ask a professional to kind of give you some advice on that or participate in that post or that video to provide that information. These things will build authority for you over time. You can tell your personal story of how you ended up down here, what you've done in real estate so far and where you're going and how much you love the community. You can give people behind the scenes glimpses of, what's it like to be your day, what you do all day. Believe it or not, to you, it may be boring and you may think that nobody wants to know, but it's really important for establishing your value as a person and as an agent. These are the things I go through in order to be able to make sure I get the best value for my clients during negotiations or put them in a best position for a good pricing strategy. And why you do what you do. This is also good information. So you want to convert clear calls to action. That's the end part. Offer consultation, offer a downloadable guide, a market report, and give direct prompts on how to do that. How, DM me, text me, use the QR code, click the link, tell people to do one thing at the end, one thing. So, and let's talk about using AI, right? So, first thing you need to do is when you're using AI to help create any content, is to tell it who you are and your market and what type of leads you want to generate. So, next we want to ask AI to create the best prompt to rewrite your bio or build a strategy, and then paste the generated prompt into a new chat and fill in the specific details. Then repeat the process to generate a customized 30-day content plan. So let's do that in real time. We're going to jump over to our trusty Chat GPT, right? So the first thing you want to do. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is to tell it who we are and what do we do, right? So I am a real estate agent in Marathon, Florida. I specialize in selling waterfront front homes on the ocean side of Marathon. Let's see, what was the next thing we got to do? So the next thing to do, what type of leads we want to have. I want to create an Instagram profile that would attract homeowners thinking about selling in the next 6 to 12 months. Why do we say 6 to 12 months? Anybody want to answer that one? Because people start thinking 6 to 12 months in advance. But before they put the house on the market, I want to capture them in that early stages of their thought process. All right. So I'm a real estate agent in Marathon, Florida. I specialize in selling waterfront homes on the ocean side of Marathon. I want to create an Instagram profile that would attract homeowners thinking about selling in the next 6 to 12 months. There's no specific prompt for this. You're going to do this based on your need, right? So I'm going to give it, here's my current profile on Instagram. I'm going to copy it. Okay. Here is a copy of my current profile on Instagram. Okay. And we're just going to leave it at that for the moment. And let's see what it comes up with. Let's hope it's not glitching today. Okay, there we go. It's telling me what it's thinking. Okay, so it looks like it may have some improvements that I should change. Okay, so it says the current profile feels a little more like it's speaking to a buyer than a homeowner thinking, maybe I should sell in the next year. The biggest shift is that seller prospects want to know who you help, what you specialize in, why they should trust you, and what to do next. So here's a stronger version built for that. Again, name field, Frank Verna, Marathon Waterfront. There's the bio, helping Marathon Oceanside homeowners sell smarter, waterfront pricing, marketing, and seller strategy, trusted local expert, 1,500 plus clients served. Get your Marathon Waterfront home value report. Would you say that that's an improvement? Right? Anybody, you have any questions? So why it works better. It's going to tell me here's something, some options. Here's a couple of different options. Marathon Oceanside Waterfront Home Specialist, helping homeowners position and sell luxury property, local insight, strategic marketing, proven guidance, request your private home value review. And you can say one, two, three, four more options. And then it's giving me why it thinks this one is the best. Right. And it's one important, if marathon is your lane, I would remove lower keys from the bio and replace it with marathon, that's a given, right? So, uh, and then you should also make your link offer seller focused, right? So if I want to attract sellers, then I should probably create a bio that's specifically for them. So that's a lot better, would you say, than what we have up here? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So this would be a more optimized approach to attracting sellers on Instagram. So we now have defined who our target client is, and we're reaching out to them. So our next step is to ask AI to create the best prompt to rewrite your bio or build a strategy. So which we didn't do in this one. So I'm going to ask. Um, Create a perfect prompt to, oops, to build a to build a strategy, mm, build a strategy for 30 days of Instagram content relating to my profile. I'm making this very simple, not overcomplicating it. So I'm telling ChatGPT to create the prompt for me. So here's creating the prompt. So I'm going to take this prompt and I'm going to save it. And you can see it's telling you exactly how to build it, what content I should have, give it a tone. And just so you know, when it says make the tone, this is based on stuff that I've already trained my chat GPT to do. Yours may be different, and you may have to create that tone, and that tone should reflect you, right? And who you are. If you're not a comedian, don't make funny posts, right? If you're not a Wall Street analyst, don't make content that's analytical, right? So you want it to reflect your current personality, and then educational content, type of mix, and then include 10 reel ideas, carousel ideas, static post ideas, live video ideas. So I'm going to copy that, and then I would just save this as a prompt, right? So I'm going to save that prompt. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to create a new chat, okay? And I'm going to put that prompt in there. And I've got all the stuff in there. I'm going to go back to standard here just to make it a little faster. And then I'm going to let ChatGPT build that 30-day content plan for me. Give it just a minute. Again, we've had ChatGPT built the prompt. Now I can take this prompt and I can use it in any AI platform, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever. I might run it in multiple platforms just to see if I get anything different from some of the other platforms. But for this example, I'm just running it into ChatGPT and waiting to see what it comes up with. And if I don't like what it says, I'm going to tell it to change it. Maybe I shouldn't have changed the thinking process. Hopefully ChatGPT is running well today. And what we'll do in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and open Gemini. And I'm going to take this same prompt. And I'm going to throw it into Gemini just to see what happens. So same exact prompt. Throw it in here and see what that comes up with. Looks like ChatGPT may be having some problems today. So that does happen on occasion, depending upon the load. And we're at 247. So here's some content. So this is from I use Gemini as an alternative. And here you can see some 30-day content Instagram calendar, right? So here we have a market reality, local insight, do it as a reel. And then if you go through it, voting access values, seller mistakes, behind the scenes, timing in the market, client success. So here's something that you can make a 1 to 2 minute video on each of these things without going crazy, right? And you have a full 30-day content schedule of exactly what to do. And then it gives you the strategy and signature recurring series, things that you should do. You could have Doc Talk Thursdays. You could do the Soul Truth. So this is like, that'd be great if you were doing lives. Marathon market minutes before the sign goes up. Ask Frank what Q&A session. And here's giving me multiple calls to action for seller leads. Are you pricing your home for today's market or last year's? DM me valuation to find out. Curious what your seawall and dock add to your bottom line? Let's chat in the DMs. So there's multiple calls to action, multiple hook formulas. Biggest lie marathon homeowners are told about their property value, right? If your oceanside home has blank feature, you are sitting on a gold mine right now. If I'm a seller, or if I'm a homeowner, I may even not be thinking. I might click on that just to find out, well, what the hell are they talking about, right? So I've got that hook. I've earned that first 3 seconds. Now I've got to keep them in the box, right? And maybe offer a lead magnet and give them a call to action to make it happen. Let's see, did ChatGPT come up with anything yet? Nope, not yet. All right, so that's hanging. But here you'll get a similar result. So if I take this, or I can open it up in a uh, spreadsheet, I've got my whole content all ready to go. And there we go. So everything's all ready for you to do exactly what it is, what type of content it is. what the hook is, what the summary pain point is, what the call to action is. Right there, all ready for you to go. All you got to do is almost copy and paste. I mean, you want to read it, you want to make sure it's not talking in Swahili, right? So, but we want to make sure that that the people who are going to see this, it makes sense to, and that the information we're providing is accurate. But you've got the whole content plan right there, ready to go. And if nothing else, you at least have a good vision of how you should go or some ideas of what to do. Is already all put together for you and took you less than, I don't know, 2 minutes to do that. And now you just got to put these things together. All right. Any
Yep,
questions about this part?
that's the biggest hurdle, Frank. So that's pretty cool to have it done. It's
Right.
trying to think of the content.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what you should use. This is the ideal use of AI for our industry, is to help reduce the amount of time that it takes to create these types of things. And in order for you to be able to reach more people in a shorter period of time. And it's the same thing as what we do when we do newspaper ads and when we do postcards and when we do newsletters and stuff like that. You got to utilize it in the same fashion. Um, but these are all great things. I mean, I don't see anything on here that I wouldn't do. Um, got pricing strategy, ask me anything, buyer objections, the there's a good one. I didn't even think of doing that one. Why I only focus on waterfront properties in Marathon. So, or change that to Duck Key, Key Colony Beach, or Sombrero Beach, or Venetian Shores, right? Um, change that information to what you do, and you can do that with that prompt that ChatGPT built for us. And then utilize it, right? But create your own, right? Because your bio, your information is going to be different, right? It's not going to be the same as what I did. And also my chat GPT is trained differently. So if you look at the results that you get and say, does this resonate with me? And would this resonate with a potential seller for this type of content? Oh, there we go. Now it's doing it. All right. So we have and there's some different ideas here, right? 5 things that secretly affect your waterfront home value. What buyers notice first at a waterfront home. Signs buyer demand is rising or slowing in Marathon. So everything is geared just for that specific purpose. And in most cases, what I would do is I would have a Instagram profile that I would use for sellers and a separate Instagram profile that I would use just for buyers so that I don't mix up the algorithm, right? I want the algorithm to serve specifically who I'm trying to target in each category. So I would run multiple profiles for that. Um, any questions about that? All
No,
right. So here,
I
yeah, go
see
ahead,
how it
Joanne.
says a static post, a reel, a carousel, the story. It actually tells you how to do it. You know, the format. It tells you the format.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
And
cool.
actually, I think Gemini did the same thing. Um, where's the sheets? There it is. So here's the format. Here's the hook, pain point, and proof, and then the call to action. And in ChatGPT, it's a little more extensive. So it gives the hook, short content summary, call to action, along with the format, the topic, and the category that it should go in. So the categories are good too because these can help you give ideas for to use for your um, for your category uh, labels, right? I might want to use those category labels because if somebody's keying in on a specific type of content, I want them to be able to get more of it if they want to, right? So utilize these categories to come up with some categories for your own uh, Instagram profile. All right. Some things I want you to think about before we leave for today. Um, Always think of what does a stranger learn from your bio in 5 seconds. And I don't care what is whether it's on your website or on your Instagram or on your Facebook. If somebody were to look at your profile in the first 5 seconds, what would they know about you? Is it written for other agents or is it written for actual clients? The sad truth is, most agents, their followers are other agents. That doesn't help you get sellers. That doesn't help you get buyers, right? I want my content to attract sellers or buyers. Are your links helping people take action or just sending them wandering? Am I just sending them to the page where all the properties are listed? Am I giving them a link to just a, hey, here's a home search page? Or am I sending them specifically to the types of homes that they're looking for? Am I sending them to Waterfront Marathon Homes, or am I sending them to a page that might show them a condo in Key West? Because if it does, I just lost, right? Um, Pinned posts. Pinned posts are those posts at the top that that are your best performers or the things that get the most interaction. Really, what you want is something that provides the most interaction. You get to see these with these little pin icons on here, in on the post page. So that's a pin icon, pin icon. Those are pin posts. Those you want to make sure that they build trust. Pin posts should build trust because those are the first things that come up if somebody goes to your IG profile. And then is your content too polished to be useful? And I'm going to say that this could be, right? This looks more like, am I selling model homes or am I trying, what is my point? What am I doing? And what does this mean? No, you're not wasting my time. Does that get you wanting to click on that? So make sure that you're utilizing content that's useful and valuable, not just polished. Some beautiful pictures here. Don't get me wrong. There's some great pictures here, but that's not what it's all about, right? What it's all about is gaining, is capturing leads and gaining authority. So real estate Instagram profile should clearly tell people who you help, where you work, whether you are credible, and exactly what to do next. And that's all I have for you today, unless you have any questions.
All
I will,
these slides will be in the attachment of the
yes,
recording. Okay, that's great.
yes. Okay,
Fabulous material, Frank.
great. Thanks. I'm glad you liked it.
Love it.
Tell other people about it.
I will. I will. Thank
All
you.
right. You're very welcome, Cheryl.
Yes.
And tomorrow, not tomorrow, Friday.
Friday. I'll see
Um,
you at 2:30.
yeah, got you on my schedule. Okay.
Okay. See you then,
All right.
Frank. Thank you.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye
Uh-huh.
bye.
Bye-bye.